I'm here with Eddie Izzard, who's visiting Swansea today on part of his Stand Up for Europe campaign. So, Eddie, what is it about this campaign that has made you, as a stand-up comedian, want to get involved and want to come out to people? Is it 31 cities in 31 days?
31 cities in 31 days. It's not really the campaign I thought, hey, I'll do it, I'm a stand-up. For years, if you track back through Google on what I've been, how I think about Europe or the world, I've been positive about the idea for a long time. And I've been doing things positively. I tour France in French now. I tour Germany in German. I just played Vienna a couple of weeks ago in German, and I'm doing my 333 shows all around the UK, 3 shows in 3 languages in 3 hours to show what you can do with my comedy that's been crafted in Britain, and I'm exporting it all the way around Europe. But above all, I wanted to be here to talk to young people, and for some reason people say, oh yeah, you can talk to young people. I'm 22 in here, even though I'm quite old here. I think I do things in a slightly different way, but I want people to vote. I want people to get on this and register, because if they're not registered, older people will decide your future for you. They're all registered, and younger people, a lot of people I talk to, and they say it's about 75 to 80% of people who are under 35 are positive about Europe, but they haven't got registered, or if they do, they don't actually use their vote in the end. And they should use it, because it's going to affect the rest of their life. The Queen is now 90, so they could be living 100, 110. Healthcare will be even better by then. And you think that's big chunky 80 years of your life, and you're not allowed to go to Europe. You can't do your jobs in Europe, your work papers to go and have a job there, or to be a student there. The Erasmus agreement that means that students can go and work in other universities, that will disappear. Low-cost flights will disappear. Your roaming charges, which go down to 0 next year, that will go. And the e-HIC card, your health insurance across Europe, that disappears as well. So all these opportunities that I had when I was a kid, I want all young people to have them.
And now there's been lots of scaremongering and fear tactics on both sides of the argument. Why do you think there is such a negative campaign on this particular referendum?
No, I think it's always, if you look at any election, it's always got fear is always used. And it's, unfortunately, my examination of it is that human beings react to fear. So the experts say, we've got to go fear. I'm trying to do positive. I'm standing here, I'm a transgender man. I came out 31 years ago. That was a tough thing to do. I've tried to be consistent about that. I've been positive about Europe. I thought, what can I do? I thought, I'll do my shows in French. 19 years ago, I went on stage, did my first show in French. It was awful. You can watch it on my documentary. It's a Believe documentary. It's terrible. Whereas last year, I played to 5,200 people across France in 11 cities in the French language. And I think that's beautiful. 200 years since the Battle of Waterloo. Wouldn't it be nice if Napoleon and Wellington were there and going, well, in 200 years, you're going to have an English guy performing in French, and a French guy is now performing in English. 2 French performers are now performing in English. That's beautiful. That's positive. So there are fear. Fear will be used in all campaigns forever. I do think, unfortunately, humans seem to react to it. And when you put something positive out, they go, I'm not so bothered. But I'm trying to be a living, breathing, positive person, positive about Europe, and I think that's what humans do. We gradually learn to live together and work together in some shape or form. That's what we're trying to do in Europe, and stop the wars. From Alexander the Great to World War II, that was 2,500 years of war, and we stopped it after 1945, and the EU was set up to stop that happening again, so that we could work together, live together in a more positive way. That's what we're trying to do, and it's better for the economy. You know, we're going to go into recession. The governor of the Bank of England says, we will go into recession. He is a respected expert, a Canadian man, and it's his job to say, and he says that's what's going to happen. And he's backed up by the IMF and the World Trade Organization. Barack Obama, President of America, says it. Hillary Clinton backed him up. And Donald Trump said, why don't you go and live on the moon? And so that's, we don't want to listen to Donald Trump.
No. So do you see this the outcome of this referendum as a deciding factor as to whether David Cameron or Boris Johnson is PM by Christmas time?
Well, I know these are the questions you need to ask, and you want to get a soundbite from me that says this, but I'm not really bothered about that. That is not what I'm interested in. This is bigger than party politics. This is about the future of young people out there, middle-aged people, old people. It's the future for everyone. I know some older people, they tend to go more skeptic, but young people, they see the chances, opportunities right there. Hen nights, stag nights, they'll just disappear. The cost will go up. The chief executive of EasyJet said just a few days ago, less flights and more expensive. If you want that, then vote Leave. But I don't think they do. I think they want the chances, the opportunities, and it's just what we do with the United Kingdom. We're not the hate each other, let's go back to war kind of kingdom, and we don't become homogenized either. Watch a Wales-England rugby match. Watch a England-Scotland football match. Everyone's still got their own identities, but we're more positive. Team GB, when it comes to the Olympics, we fight like crazy for each other. We're brilliant at that. And I think that's the way forward. That's what we do as human beings. We've got to be heading towards a world where all 7 billion people have a fair chance. You want a vision for the future? You want a positive vision? Young people, I think, want that. I'm trying to put it forward right here, right now.
Mm-hmm. And you visited so many countries across Europe and seen people of all sorts of nationalities and from various countries. Why do you think that it's the British people that are the most anti-EU, that we are the only ones that want to have a referendum?
It's the fact we're an island. It's an island thing. If you track through history, as I've done, all the wars that happened in Europe, the map makers in Europe, they couldn't actually draw lines. They had to put a rubber band in there and just keep moving it around because the frontiers kept changing. Alsace-Lorraine, it was French, it was German, it was French, it was German, it was French. Whereas in Britain, we got this island, we cunningly dug 26 miles of water between us and France. We got up one morning and did this one, no one was looking. And since then, it's been very difficult. The Nazis couldn't get across, Napoleon couldn't get across because of this 26 miles of water. And so we haven't been invaded left, right, and centre. And we think, well, I don't know what's got to do with us. We think like an island nation because we are an island nation. Mm-hmm. But it's a positive thing. Our economy wants to be good and strong, and being in Europe makes it good and strong. So from an economic point of view, the pound in your pocket, low-cost flights, young people, opportunities, the Erasmus scheme, all of that's all going to disappear. So let's have that going. And if you care about human beings and you want a direction for the future of the world, that's surely the way we're going to do it. If we're going to have a world where everyone has a fair chance, we've got to start with the continents. We're the first continent to ever try to do this. It's a very difficult thing to do. It's not perfect. It doesn't work perfectly. But if you want to change it, we've got to be inside it to change it. Let's stand and fight rather than run and hide.
And you say that it was 75% of young people and students want to remain in. Yes. Why is it that young people just aren't as passionate about the referendum and about politics? Why don't they want to get involved and vote?
I think they are. If they get involved, they do. But I think a lot of young people, it's maybe the first time they've ever voted. So if you track how it works with people, as they get older, they said they've done 2 or 3 elections, they work out what goes on. And in a general election, I think young people think, well, I haven't got a mortgage, so how does the mortgage rate? It's not going to affect me so much. Whereas this is young people's future right now. Just like the marriage equality referendum in Ireland, you saw a lot of young people got involved in that. A lot more young people are getting involved now. 85,000 people registered to vote in a few hours last week. Just people are getting seeing that this is going to affect young people's future. So I think before people weren't getting so much involved. In general elections, I can see that they switch off a bit. But this really affects young people. The rest of their lives, 80 to 100 years of their life could be affected by this thing on the 23rd of June. But they have to be registered. And the registration is very important. 7th of June, only 10 days away.
And the final question is there anything that you want to say now to people to encourage them to get involved and to support for what they believe in, even if it is leave? I'm assuming you'd rather have people vote, even if it isn't what we want, just to get them out and do it.
Registered. Leave people, I'd like to tell them that the referendum is now on the 24th of June. That would be fun. But still, at least they're using their vote. People fought and died for the vote in centuries gone by for our countries, and for other countries, they're doing it right now, this very moment. So it's an important thing. But above all, if you care about humanity, if you give a damn about your fellow human beings, come on, this is what we do. What signal does it say when we say, hey, we're going to separate out, let's put up a wall? If I just pulled down and built a wall right here, what would that say about me and you? If I say, you can interview me, but I want a wall here, what does that say? That's what we're doing. And we're saying, no, let's get rid of the walls, let's put out our hands like this and say, hey, how are you doing? I do this, I speak this language, what do you say? And you got kids or family, or what do you want to do with your life? That's what we do as human beings. It's the history of humanity. Surely that's what we do. Vote for humanity. Vote for Remain.
There you go. Eddie Izzard, thank you very much for talking to us.
Cheers.
Thank you.